Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to In Her Dreams and welcome to your reading. I am so grateful that you're taking time to tune in to see what messages are flowing in from Spirit for you. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. I heard you're doing big things. If you had any doubt, you can put that to the side because you are doing big things. Whatever it is you're working on, you're doing something very important and it's monumental. It really is. It's on a cosmic level. And it's a huge part of your legacy that you're creating. Ashe. Thank you, Divine. What's coming through for this beautiful being? What do they need to know? High Priestess of Air. High Priest, High Priestess of Air, you have a very deep connection to Spirit through your mental energy. Your imagination, your thoughts, and your words are divine. So it's very important that you protect these things, that you protect the energy of your mind, that you guard your thoughts. I'm getting, even when you look at the internet, one thing that is coming through is like commercials or anything where they're trying to program you, perhaps to be in a state of fear. Or what's really crazy is that some of those commercials I see, like whether it's on YouTube or on TV, it's almost as if they're invoking a spell. Like the way that they'll tell you about your health. They don't know you. But I've become very aware of certain commercials, the way they try to program a person's mind to think that they're in a certain state where they need a certain product, you know? So as you surf the internet, as you look at your feed, just be aware of things and protect your energy. Okay? Protect your mind, your thoughts, and your imagination. Because your imagination is the key to your success. That's what I just heard. Your imagination is the key to your success. It's powerful. I'm seeing rainbows in your third eye. It's beautiful. So I'm seeing that you have a whole spectrum of energy that you can access. And it starts here. As above, so below, as within, so without. So you are the universe. The universe is inside you. When you look up at the sky and you see a rainbow, that is within you. And it's in your chakras as well, you know. So, yeah. Your third eye is very, very powerful. Let's take a look at that again. Also, there's something very ethereal about you. It feels dreamy. It's your energy. You feel like a dream. Your presence feels like a dream. And to people who really understand your value, it feels like you're too good to be true. And that could be what I'm getting is that for some of you, you may have had an experience in a relationship where a person backed away, or it almost felt like they were afraid of your presence. And it's because they were. They knew your value, but they didn't know what to do with it. And I'm hearing that in some cases this was a blessing, because I just saw 441 on the timer. So 144 in reverse. This person did not know what to do with a chosen one. They didn't know what to do with a divine being And also, there's something that, this will apply to some of you. There's something that a person was afraid of you seeing in them. It could have been a wound that they did not want you to expose or to tap into, but they knew that with your intensity and with your passion and with your intuition, it was only going to be a matter of time until you identified something within them that they have hidden for so long. For so long. They couldn't handle the high priestess energy. High priestess energy. The moon, yeah. So there are things that people around you prefer to keep hidden because they don't want to be exposed. But see, just like the sun exposes things, so does the full moon. You know? This is where they mirror each other, the sun and the moon. There is exposure that comes from both energies. Also, this is a gift of yours to be able to tune in intuitively and know what to keep hidden and what to expose. Because not everything should be revealed. This is a gift that you have. You're able to discern what should remain within you, between you and your divine allies, your spirit allies, your ancestors, and what should be revealed. This is a gift you have. Yeah. It makes you an excellent warrior. This is your vibe. I'm hearing you're a great fighter. You fight when it's necessary. And I'm speaking energetically, okay? When a person brings a battle to you, you know what to do. When they come to you with confrontation, you know what to do. Because of this divine energy that you have, you know and you see. But not only are you a warrior, yeah, but you're playful as well. So you can go to war or you can have fun. And it's kind of like, which one you want? But you also are excellent at maintaining your vibe. You don't allow others to dictate and determine what your vibe will be. Because even when you're in your warlike energy, your warrior energy, you still maintain your dignity, your integrity. And you realize that there's truly never a reason to get ratchet with anybody, because when a person tries to take you to that state, they're trying to get you to lose something. Whether it's something financial or something that you value that's around you. Perhaps it's material wealth or something that you have earned, or whether it's your integrity or dignity. A lot of times people just want to take us to a state where we're going to feel grief or guilt over a choice that we've made. But you don't allow other people to do that. And so, yeah, you're the master of your vibe. You can be playful. You can be a warrior. And I'm getting that this changes for you from day to day. From, it could be hourly, like it's whatever you need at the time. Whatever spirit brings you to. I'm hearing you roll with the punches. So I'm seeing like It's waves, but they're divine waves. You don't adjust your frequency based on people around you. You adjust your frequency based on where the divine is taking you, leading you, guiding you. Okay? Yeah. Ashe. What else, Spirit? Yeah, you're beautiful. And your individuality speaks for itself. I'm getting Aquarius energy. You're very unique. Also Aries. You're not afraid to stand out and to be who you are. You honor yourself, who you are as an individual, but also you're not afraid to step out and be different with that Aquarius energy. Okay? So it doesn't matter what's in your chart. This is just what's coming through as far as your personality, your frequency. You might have tattoos, or you may have thought about getting some tattoos. You may love birds. You may connect with bird spirits. Also cherry blossoms. Red flowers. The number 11, this is card 47. 4 and 7 is 11. You're easily able to summon energy and just let it wash over you and work through you. Okay, this is really how I saw when Spirit said you roll with the punches. It's like I see you riding divine waves. And so it's like if you ever wish to embody a certain energy, a certain frequency, a certain god or goddess, they work with you. Gods and goddesses love to work with you. 1212 on the timer. And this is one way in which you're able to constantly get a fresh perspective, because you can always have different energies that you tune into. It's so beautiful. Literally, what I'm getting is that all you have to do to summon the energy of a god or goddess is learn about that frequency. You might watch a video. They might come to you. You might see the name of a god or goddess. Like there's a spa that I've seen, and it's called Venus, right? So every time I see that, I think of Venus. So things like that might happen for you, where you are drawn to a certain energy, but that's that god or goddess that's reaching out to you. So with Venus, they want to work with you and your beauty and your wealth, your abundance, okay? If you see Mars, something about Mars, that's passion and drive and your warrior energy, okay? So whatever comes to you as far as the energy of a god or goddess, if you don't already know about it, tune into it. Take a moment to watch a video about that energy, or you can meditate and allow that frequency to connect with you and to work with you, okay? But this is a skill that you have. This is a natural ability that you have. It's very beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. All right. I'm gonna pull some dice. Okay, let's see what's coming through for you, beautiful being. I'm being nice and careful and quiet with the dice now. Ashe, what's coming through for this beautiful being? There's a tree here. You're gaining abundance. You're growing exponentially. You're growing in your spiritual nature. I'm seeing especially here how you're able to summon energies and connect with frequencies. You're also able to connect with people telepathically if that's something that you wish to do. And the beautiful thing is that you use this for healing and when you wish to connect with someone in a positive state. There are a lot of people out there who use this for negative purposes. But your goal is always love, divine healing, divine truth. Yeah, you're growing. I'm getting the message that it's important to pay attention to the seasons. So if you're expecting yourself to always produce fruit or to grow exponentially during every season, even the trees and the flowers take a break, okay? And sometimes they shed things. They shed their leaves, they shed their petals, their flowers, and they rest. And then they come back, okay? They regenerate. So give yourself grace and the ability to rest. Yeah, so time. Sometimes you might have a tendency to put yourself under pressure. Divine is saying to allow yourself whatever time and space you need to just take a deep breath, meditate, enjoy nature, rest, because that is actually when you will grow the most, is when you're resting. They're like, the Matrix got it all messed up. The Matrix wants to work us to the bone, you know? The Matrix wants us tired and worn out, depleted, okay? All messed up, don't know our left from our right because we're so worn out. But Spirit wants us to take time to rest. Maybe don't even look at the clock, okay? Because time is just a construct, all right? So when we go to another realm, a divine realm where time does not exist, and we leave this 3D, we're not so firmly planted in this 3D and heavily invested that we care so much about every hour and every second and what we're doing and have we worked enough and have we checked off every box. Just allowing yourself to be. There's so much beauty in that. And you'll find that when you do that, you're going to grow so much, because that's when energies will connect with you on the astral realm so easily, because you're in a restful, receptive state. And that will strengthen your intuition. This was upside down, so it's like turning that frown upside down. There's something that is going to improve your mood. Perhaps you've been sad or disappointed about something. But I'm getting that rest is what's needed. Rest. I'm hearing just checking out from the busyness that someone tried to make you think was required, but it's not. You can take the time that you need for yourself. Okay? Thank you, Spirit. Oh. Look at this. Working too hard. That's what I was getting. It feels like you've been working yourself so hard. And it's so easy to do that because we think that that's going to be rewarded, or because we listen to somebody telling us that we should be working harder. There may be somebody who wasn't valuing you the way that they should have, and so they led you to believe that you weren't doing enough. Bump that. Like, let me just pull a couple of these tarot cards to get a couple clues about that, because it feels like some bullshit. Divine, what is this? Is there somebody who's putting pressure on this beautiful being? Death and Eight of Pentacles. You might be releasing pressure from yourself regarding a job, or releasing pressure that somebody has put on you about a job. That's what it feels like. Working too hard, and then Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, because somebody wanted you to feel guilty with this Eight of Swords, or they wanted you to not see something. They wanted you to feel bound. They wanted you to feel bound instead of feeling free to be in this Chariot. But see, this Chariot brings your Wheel of Fortune. This is where your passion is, your drive is. It's where your Ace of Pentacles is. It's where your creativity lies with that Queen of Cups. You're creative. You are intuitive. You're divine. And somebody has been trying to work you to the bone. That's not how you work. That's not how you work best. In fact, it could be that working as hard as you've been working could be very detrimental. When you work that hard, where is the time to connect with spirit? Where is the time to explore different energies and connect with gods and goddesses and explore your inner self? Where is the time to do all of that? Yeah, there's a new path for you, and it involves your intuition, your high priest, high priestess nature. This could be somebody. Now, here's the thing. If you are feminine, and I don't assign that energy to male or female, okay, but if you are feminine, it can be very difficult to go out into the world and work a full-time job and do all the things to earn a living out there, okay? If you are feminine, I don't care if you're male or female. If you are feminine, you are aligned with this high priestess energy, with this Queen of Cups energy. You're nurturing. You're intuitive. You're summoning energies. Okay? And so for you to go out there into the world and try to be a boss on somebody else's schedule. And when I say boss, I mean like a boss, like, you know, bossing up, you know, making money and all of that. If you're trying to do that according to somebody else's standards and it's not your own business, that's tough as hell. And it's frustrating. And the Queen of Cups came out. So perhaps you're a mother or you have a child, okay? So if that's the case, you're wanting to nurture. This could be somebody trying to tell you that you should be playing a different role than what comes naturally to you. But you have to know yourself. Okay, the King of Pentacles is here, right along with the Queen of Pentacles. And the Four of Cups. King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, Four of Cups, Empress. I feel like these are the same It feels like the same people, but different aspects of the same beings. So there's something that someone is very obsessed with regarding material wealth, finances, stability. That's here with the King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. There, you could have a partner, a person in your life who is obsessed with both people working, going out there, having full-time jobs or something like that. And with this Four of Cups to the Empress, it's like wanting to refuse this feminine energy and all that that can be, all that that can bring. Perhaps there's someone here who is not seeing the beautiful, divine completeness that an Empress truly is. And this Empress does not have to go out and work a full-time job every day in order to be successful and in order to be valuable. Because an Empress is everything. She doesn't have to prove her value. She doesn't have to prove her worth. She just is valued because it's clear. But it's clear to people who can see her value, right? Now, that's a whole other level of blindness if a person looks at an Empress and doesn't see their value. The Empress is literally all four queens together, combined. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands. All of them. She has her empire. But see, perhaps that's what you're wanting to grow. You want to take the Ace of Pentacles. Where's that Ace of Pentacles? Well, first of all, you want to start off with the Fool energy and do something new and use your strength, will, and power to put it into something new that you're going to build. It's an ace. So perhaps someone in your life does not yet see the vision. They just see, oh, well, that's just a start. That's just a seed. What could that ever become? But the truth is that this is what truly you already are. They just don't see that yet because to them, they equate Empress energy to how much money you make a month or bi-weekly or whatever. And to be quite honest with you, I think that all this person is expecting is the Queen of Pentacles, where, and in all actuality, the Queen of Pentacles is very balanced and nurtured, and like she has wealth, but she doesn't work herself to the bone to be wealthy. She is balanced, but the fact that this person only values the Queen of Pentacles energy, they want wealth. It's like they want who they're with to generate wealth, and that's all they're seeing. They see wealth as a paycheck. They may not see wealth as taking care of a home, taking care of a child or children, or nurturing an environment, nurturing themselves. People have to realize whoever is feminine in the relationship, if we're talking about a relationship here, I don't care if it's a male or female, whoever is feminine and aligns more so with divine feminine energy and that frequency, they need to be able to rest. They need to be able to rest, nurture, create, and that is what brings them happiness. If you put a truly feminine energy out into the world for 8 to 10 hours every day to hustle and do all the things that a person has to do out in the workforce, it's like, just expect them to be grumpy. I'm sorry. Like, and they might not even know why they're grumpy because they think that they're doing what they need to do. But they don't realize that what they really need is rest. They need to create. They need to nurture. So this doesn't mean that if you want to be a housewife or house husband, that doesn't mean that that's all you can be. You can not work 8 to 10 hours every day, but you could create your own business. And that takes time in order for it to become abundant. But sometimes people do become very successful very quickly. And that actually, it's funny that this is coming through because it came through several times today, that there is someone in this collective, there's a beautiful being who is experiencing a lot of success quickly in their business. This could be a YouTube channel that's just taking off. Maybe you only had your channel for like a week and you've already got like 5,000 subscribers, 10,000, like it's happening. It's happening. You know, it's like, it's what a lot of people hope for, is that quick success. But what was coming through is that there's this feeling of like, I didn't expect this so soon. And there's this like feeling of being stuck because now you have eyes on you and it's like, where do I go? What do I do? Like sort of a sense of panic. Divine says, just keep doing what you're doing. It doesn't matter how many eyes are on you, because those eyes that are on you, they came to you because you weren't caring about the eyes. 3111 on the timer. It's like, yes, you're building, you've got 3 of Pentacles energy, but Divine says just focus on you. Focus on what you want to create. Focus on what you want to put out there. A lot of people, and I saw this, it was in a download that I received earlier today, and it's that there's someone who's experiencing a massive amount of success very soon in their business or their with their channel, or if you have a blog or something, it's taking off very quickly. For some of us, it's been, you know, we have a long time to really develop and grow and learn. But for somebody out there, it's happening very quickly. And Divine says, don't panic. Just keep doing what you're doing. You don't have to worry. Like if you want to map some things out, that's fine. But don't become so focused on what you think now is important if that's so different from what you were originally focused on. Because it's just your magic that's successful. And you will continue to be successful, and you will continue to grow and expand. And Divine is going to bring you all the things that you need to learn. With you maintaining the work that you're doing on your path, they're going to put in front of you all the things that you need to learn along the way. Okay? Nothing wrong with doing research, but as long as you're not doing it from a place of anxiety or like, what do I do? You already know what to do. You got the magic, okay? All right. Oh, I love that message. I'm so glad that came through, because Divine was saying earlier today, I was in the shower and they were like, you should mention this. But I didn't jot it, like I was in the shower. I didn't jot it down. But see how Spirit does? If Spirit wants something out there, they're gonna get it out there. Okay? They're saying pick up a couple more. Okay. What else is coming through? X. Okay, there could be an X here that's relevant. Or maybe I'm getting that there's an X that could be getting on your nerves. Perhaps there's an X who didn't value you. Maybe this is not someone that you're currently with, but it's somebody who kind of put in your head that you gotta earn your way into my heart. I don't know why I'm saying it in that voice. Maybe it sounded like that. I don't know. But it's like, this feels like a person who does not value truly divine feminine energy. Or perhaps, because this happens a lot, looking at it from a perspective of compassion. Okay? Ashe, thank you, Spirit. They may have only seen examples of women in their life who overworked. This happens a lot. A lot of us, whether we're masculine or feminine, we did not see growing up a feminine being who was loving themselves, putting their well-being and their energy first and nurturing themselves so that they were ready and able to nurture the people that they love. A lot of us saw a feminine being who was out there working every day and struggling and very unhappy, and then had to come home and was expected to do all the feminine things, you know, which I don't want to get into gender roles because men are able to nurture as well. Masculines can nurture as well. Okay? But we're talking about society. So gender roles do come into play. So a person who goes out there in the work world and struggles every day is not going to want to come home and then do another job, which taking care of a home and taking care of children and making dinner and doing laundry and mopping the floors, even if it's with a Swiffer, that is a job. Okay? That is a job. Let's not lie to ourselves. And anybody who says it's not a job, that's because they're not doing it. Okay? Those are the only people who will say that taking care of a household and taking care of children and taking care of a family is not a job. And then there's another way of taking care of a family, and that's through finances, right? But putting all of that on one person, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, these came out. Well, okay, Spirit is saying take them. Oh, wow. Somebody's hygiene is disgusting. This could be somebody who did not contribute to household chores. They expected you to do all of that, okay? This cycle is done. So look, with X coming out as well, it feels like you have ended something with a person who did not value you in the way that you need to be valued, okay? Cleanse and purify. Yeah, Divine is saying to cleanse and purify your energy, because it could be that there's some of that, those things that you heard, those statements that were made, those expectations that somebody had of you that were very toxic. Their expectations of you were extremely toxic. What they wanted you to do was too much. They wanted you to do too much. They expected too much from you. And they weren't pulling their weight. You know? There could be some of that that is lingering still. Like you might be thinking some of those same thoughts that came from that person and the expectations that they put on you for that period of time. Divine is saying to cleanse and purify and let go of the statements that they made to you, because that's not your reality. But in order to do that, you have to remind yourself of what is actually true. Not that you have to overwork yourself. That's what they made you feel. No. So when you feel that, when those thoughts come to you, you tell yourself, I am who I am. I love what I love. I do what I do. And that is enough. And then you can go further. If you see yourself as an empress, I am an empress. I am the empress. I create. I nurture. If you want to build your business, I have a successful business. Whatever it is that you think you can't do, that perhaps this person's projections made you think that you can't do certain things in your life, remind yourself that you absolutely can. There could be a Taurus here, but also Taurus, yeah, that's the Empress energy, I do believe. Taurus, yeah. Yeah. So you are the Empress. This is your energy. You are beautiful. You are abundant. You grow. You flourish. Okay? They realize you were their greatest blessing. Okay, so this is an ex who regrets losing you. Well, they should have treated you better. They should have recognized your value. It's a good thing we're talking about an ex, because apparently they've been with somebody that left them a little surprise. So this could be an ex that's trying to come back into your world. Divine is saying for physical reasons alone. All right? Like, let's not even look at all the chauvinistic stuff that is coming through and the inability to see your worth. Okay, there was that wounding that came through that perhaps they only saw examples of feminine energies who overwork themselves. Maybe that's all they saw growing up, and so that's to them what a woman is or what a feminine energy is. But still, they're looking less and less attractive here. Okay. You've got mail. This could be somebody that you met online, or you all carried on a correspondence online, or this could just be about some sort of online interaction. They might be looking at things that you create and post online. Also, this person could have tried to access your mail. They're coming through as a very controlling, chauvinistic type of being. So they may have tried to read your mail or open your mail when they shouldn't have. Archangel Michael is protecting you. And this is one of those energies that you are able to summon. Okay. Ashe. Oh, I see why Archangel Michael came through. Because that's protective energy and the energy of truth. Somebody think they're going to come see you. But you can ask Archangel Michael to tell them to do otherwise. Have Archangel Michael pay them a little visit and whisper in their ear, oh no, you won't, mama. You ain't going nowhere near the collective, okay? And that's the tea on that one, okay? They know they messed up. Well, let me roll my eyes one more time on that one. Come on now. I mean, it's good they know they messed up, but okay, I'll pull a card. I don't want to assume that that's the energy of the last reading. Okay, so Divine, can I get a card for this being that's planning to come see the collective? I mean, we already see that they're itchy down there. Divine is saying they have an STD. It feels like no. Okay, they bring anxiety. Throat chakra. They bring anxiety. They do not want to see you flourish and speak your truth. Okay, this is a continuation from the last reading. So if you didn't see that, you can see that one. These are the same cards that came out, except for the anxiety card didn't come out, but now it's even worse. Now they're trying to come through with anxiety too. But when I was saying that, the way it got like stuck in my throat, it's like they want you speechless over them. And there's something important that you have to say or create or do that they just want you to call it quits. Ain't nobody about to do that. Okay, so this person is done. And what came through in that last reading was that it's like over. Yeah, and you know what? I didn't even need to pull those because Divine already did the work for us. This cycle is all the way done. Okay, so it really doesn't matter how guilty they feel or whatever. That's a ploy. They just want to use their whatever little energy they have. They want to use it to try to, I'm hearing, wield their way back into your life. So manipulate. Yeah, they want to manipulate their way back into your life. It's a no. It's a hell no. Okay. My heater turned off. It's like, no. Even the heater is sending a message through. Okay. Oh, they're saying Oshun. Okay, Oshun. I love that because Venus came through. So, yeah, the energy of beauty. Okay, this is a vibe in your reading because the Empress came through. The Empress is all about not only abundance and security and nurturing and creative energy, but also beauty. You are so beautiful. And 4444, your beauty is protected. I do feel that there's someone who could have tried to attack it, perhaps through a spell or something like that. But see, this is what happens when people send like ugly spells or spells to try to make you break out or whatever. It's like it forces us to take our physical beauty, like to value it, not to a point where we're obsessed with it, right? But to nurture it. So like, say for example, if you wear makeup, you used to go to bed sometimes with your makeup on your face, and of course that leads to breakouts, right? Unless you just have like seriously flawless skin. Okay. Good, great genes, right? But like, I've never been one of those people. I've had to always wash my face. So let's say if someone is experiencing an attack with their skin, well, they know that they can't fall asleep with their makeup on, so they're going to take extra care to do those things that we should do for our health and our hygiene anyway, and be on our P's and Q's, right? In other words, those sorts of spells force us to take even better care of ourselves, to nurture our well-being to the extent where we know we're doing everything that we should do to take good care of ourselves, right? And see, this person, it came through that their hygiene is disgusting. So you know they don't care. Of course, they want to see the whole world broken out, you know, looking like they had an ugly spell put on them. They want to see everybody like this because that's how they feel. If they don't even take care of their hygiene, like I'm not even talking about makeup or anything, but just washing your ass. If we're not doing that, okay. I'll share my mouth soon. Thank you, Spirit. Also, it's coming through, if that is something that you've been struggling with your skin, I'm not recommending it to you, but you can see if it's something that would be good for you. But sulfur, there's sulfur soaps can be very good for breakouts, and there's all kinds of information about that. But you know, you can talk with your doctor if you have a dermatologist, or you can do your own research. But sulfur bar soap is extremely good for breakouts. And yeah, I started using that when I was a teenager. And then I forgot about it and I started using it again. I was like, yeah. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Mama Oshun. Maybe Mama Oshun was bringing that through, yeah? She said, okay. What message do you have for this beautiful being? I love this card. I love this card. It's the I don't give a what they think or what they got to say or what they're trying to do or who's trying to come back, but I'm not even thinking about that. It's like that card. Oshun the Scandalous. Yes. All right, brazen, audacious, and fearless. And you know what I'm getting is that that's exactly the vibe that's needed, because this is somebody who tried to make you think that you shouldn't have your own, like literally trying to stop you with the, oh, and there could be Cancerian energy here because the Chariot came out, and we know Taurus because the Empress came out, and also the Taurus card from my homemade deck. Yeah, see, the Chariot came through. They were trying to keep you from both of these energies, the Chariot and the Empress. Like, how did they think they were going to stop all this? This is destiny right here. This is major arcana. This is like what you're meant to do, what you truly are. And they thought they were going to stop that. Because all they see is dollar signs. So they don't understand the beauty of watching something grow from a seed, from a thought. Remember that High Priestess of Air came through and Divine said that your imagination is the key to your success, because right now you're the only one, or perhaps, all right, you may have already started this and it might be growing exponentially, okay? But if you're just starting this, or at the point where you were starting this, it was only in your mind. So now, I already know that you're successful, because the fact that this person wants to come back, that's why. When this idea was just an idea, when it was just a seed, when it was just something that you had just begun, they were like, oh, no way. And they were giving you side eye and all sorts of little comments and whatnot. Maybe unsolicited advice, because they assumed that it was going to remain just a seed. Oh, but So I feel like you're already, it's obvious that you're the Empress. I don't even feel like this is just your potential. It depends on where you are on the timeline. But I feel like for a lot of you, you're already here in this Empress state. Okay? Because this person sees enough of your dream coming to pass that they want in. Now they want to come back around. No, thank you. No. Okay, so Oshun. Oh, I didn't even. Okay, let me focus. Thank you, Spirit. Oshun of correspondence, though. That's that they want to communicate with you. No. Okay, 29. That's 11. Portals are open for your success. Oshun the scandalous, brazen, audacious, and fearless. The mantra is, I embrace every part of who I am. I love it. Let them talk, baby. In many timelines and cultures, it is scandalous for the divine feminine to be bold, brazen, and fearless. You are being called to lean into this energy. This is the energy of well-behaved women seldom make history. So do what you are guided to do, okay? Oshun the Scandalous comes bearing a message of empowerment and fearless action. She invites you to step boldly into your personal power, unapologetically embracing your desires, dreams, and ambitions. This is not a time for hesitation or self-doubt. It's a time for audacious moves and unflinching self-assurance, okay? That's right. I am who I am. You are who you are, and you are beautiful. I'm so happy for you. And this ex can just watch from the sidelines, because that's as close as they're gonna get. Okay, no, it's a no-go for them. But you're going all the way. Just like that Chariot card, you're going all the way with your dreams, your goals, and your ambitions, and your endeavors. Ashe. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in, beautiful being. I appreciate you. I hope that this reading brought you some guidance, some insight, some... did I say insight already? Some support, some clarity, and some good vibes. I love you, and I wish you peace. I wish you joy, and so many blessings. Take care.